What we talking about? This is the Astro Weather Channel, where I will be interpreting the current planetary positions and how they are influencing our experiences today. Alright, so first we're going to start off with the moon. The moon represents our emotional tide, our emotional fluctuations, and emotional security. The moon moves through the chart pretty fast, only staying in one stand for about 2.5 days. Most of us won't feel the fluctuations that the moon causes on our emotions and things like that. Some of us who are more internally focused and emotionally focused, then we may feel these movements, right? So right now, as the moon is in Libra, we may be more focused on other people's emotions. Our emotional security may come by way of our connections with other people and things like that. Then as the moon moves into Scorpio, our emotions may take a more intense turn. Now we may experience emotional traumas. Some emotional storms may come into our life, but it's only going to last for a couple of days. Like I said, some of us won't even pay no attention. Some of us might think it's just normal. Some of us may feel that fluctuation that's going to happen as it moves from Libra, which is a more outgoing sign, to a more intense sign. So first, our emotions are more outgoing. We don't mind making emotional connections. We actually, right now, we're thriving off making emotional connections that makes us feel emotionally secure. Then it's going to move into Scorpio, where it's going to become a little more intense. We might feel some emotional storms, some emotional intensity, and things like that. We might go through some emotional transformations. Might have to let go of some things emotionally and things like that. Then as it moves into Sagittarius, things are going to be a little more lighter again, a little more optimistic. We may feel the need to explore our emotions a little more willing to engage with others, engage in emotional contact again, coming from the intensity of Scorpio. So next we will take a look at the sun's position. The sun represents the highlight of our chart, highlighting the need for development and growth in some areas. Right now it's sitting in Sagittarius, so the need for development and growth lies in expanding our horizons. We need to expand our horizons. We can do that by traveling to different places. We can do that by exploring new topics. We can take on different subjects in a school or something like that. Engaging with different people and seeing their perspectives and point of views will help us gain a better, broader understanding of our environment and maybe ourselves. You know, it's time to search within in some type of way. Don't be afraid to take on risks. Don't be afraid to take on new opportunities, right? Because it may lead to some in the future down the line. Be forward thinking when it comes to what you're doing right now. Be forward thinking. How is it going to affect you in the future, in the long run? All right, so now we're going to take a look at Mercury sitting in Sagittarius. Mercury represents how we communicate, how we process information, how we learn, how we plan. Right now with Mercury sitting in Sagittarius, we may be more optimistic with how we speak, talking about our big ideas, planning new trips and things like that. We might be interested in new topics, things that can help us gain a bigger picture, gain an understanding of the bigger picture. We may question our inner beliefs, which will also help us gain an understanding of the bigger picture. We may be more straightforward and open in our conversations. So now we will come over and take a look at Venus's position. Venus represents your sense of value, self-worth, financial and material stability, physical comfort, relationships, beauty, love, things like that, physical pleasures. Venus sitting in Capricorn, we may be more attracted to discipline and maturity right now. We may seek financial stability in our partnership right now. This may be a good time to see if your partnership aligns with your long-term goals and your sense of ambitions. A good time to plan and budget, try to create some type of financial stability for yourself and your partner. Now we will come over and take a look at Pluto, finally sitting in Aquarius. Pluto been going back and forth between Aquarius and Capricorn, retrograde, going direct, kind of playing on the cusp between the two. Basically, it's allowing us to get ready for some deep social changes, some deep changes within ourselves, changes from the traditional ways of life, the social norms that we used to more innovative ways of being, innovative ways of thinking and expressing ourselves, innovative ways of connecting and expressing freedom and equality. We might see some groups and some movements towards just that, trying to promote freedom and equality in the world around us. Some of us may become more aware of the social challenges and may be more willing to try to bring some type of change and transformation to those. It's a good time for us to embrace our individuality. That's how we're going to start feeling empowered, by embracing our individuality and embracing our uniqueness. What makes us different is what's going to make us powerful now. All right, so now we're going to come and take a look at Saturn. Saturn represents our sense of responsibility, our reality, our limits, our ambitions, our discipline. Right now, Saturn's sitting in Pisces. It wants us to take our inner world serious. Be disciplined to your inner world and your inner spirituality. Right now, it's a good time to meditate. It's a good time to sit to yourself and be calm and still. And it's a good time to work on your artistic creativity. It's a good time to bring your visions to reality in some type of way, right? Work on your inner ambitions, or tie your ambitions to your inner world. Take your inner world serious. Work on your inner needs, your inner emotions, and how that is affected and fluctuated by the reality around you. All right, so now we're going to take a look at Neptune, which is retrograde also in Pisces, which is also urging us to get in touch with our inner world. Connect with that inner world. Let go of any insecurities or illusions that may be blocking that connection. Be willing to listen to your intuition. A lot of us feeling a heightened intuition right now. You can get in touch with that by sitting with yourself, meditating, calming yourself in some way, listening to some calming music in some type of way. This is a good time to heal yourself, a good time to purify yourself. Let go of any emotional baggage. Let go of any emotional insecurities, any emotional fears. Let go of any unnecessary material attachment that you might have. All right, so next let's take a look at the North Node. The North Node represents our spiritual direction and our spiritual growth in some way. In Aries, it wants us to embrace our independence and our assertiveness. Self-discovery will come by way of taking your own path right now. Be bold and be risky. Focus on your own needs and your own wants. Focus on taking charge of your own world. Take the lead. Don't be afraid to take the lead. Try not to be too dependent on others. And don't be afraid to assert your own unique perspectives. Alright, so now we're going to come and take a look at Uranus, which is retrograde in Taurus. Uranus represents change, innovation, bringing some type of change to your environment, being different, doing things outside the norm, detaching from the norm. Retrograde, Uranus wants us to change something within ourselves. And being in Taurus, that means bringing a change to our inner values, our inner self-worth, our physical comfort, how we may see our attitude towards financial security and stability, detaching from unnecessary possessions in some type of way, letting go of old outdated patterns and things like that, old structures, letting go of old structures, bringing some type of realistic change into our lives. Making sure that our values align with our true selves and who we really truly are, not with some false narrative that we've been fed. And it's also urging us to find some type of value in the difference that we bring, in our uniqueness. Value the uniqueness that you are. Alright, now we're going to come and take a look at Jupiter, which is retrograde in Gemini. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So this might be a confusing time for a lot of us, because retrograde, the expansion is meant to be focused inwardly. So while some of us may think expansion, like we need to be more focused outward, now we need to think about our own inner ideas, how we communicate, focus on getting a better understanding and different points of views of the same topic sometimes. We may have to revisit old topics to do just that. Some of us may experience going and seeing old friends and we may get a better understanding of the relationship you have with old friends. Don't be afraid to explore new topics, like I said, new studies. Be more observant, be more willing to listen. The confusion will come just from that. Like we may like Jupiter in Gemini is very talkative, very expressive, but right now retrograde, it wants us to take in the information. So that could be confusing for some of us because we might be naturally, out in the front, in center stage. But now it wants us to more step back and be more observant, watch and see what's going on, and then apply that going towards in the future, right? Apply that to the connections we make and see how the things that we intake right now will help you in the long term. So lastly, we're going to come and take a look at Mars, which is transiting through Leo. Mars represents how we assert ourselves, our passion, our drive, our actions. Mars sitting in Leo, it's a good time right now to take center stage. Some of us might be experiencing creative impulses. So it's a good time to be bold and take risks. Some of our actions might actually get a lot of appreciation from other people. Some of us may take Mars's drive and we might feel more romantically involved right now as it travels through Leo. Allow yourself to be more excited, right? Enjoy more fun activities. Let excitement lead you. But be mindful of your pride and your ego. Try not to let that go too far or get too big. And there you have an interpretation of the current astral weather. I bring you this knowledge so that we can take advantage of the current planetary positions in hopes that we can develop into our fullest potential. Thanks for watching.